Boo, everybody, and welcome back to the HabWrap. I'm your host, Harry Rice. You are listening to the friendliest and funniest source for anything and everything related to the Montreal Canadiens. Tonight, the regular season ends for the Montreal Canadiens. They end their season in Philadelphia as they look to hope to get home ice against the Tampa Bay Lightning. They needed a win, or at least a point. They needed a point in this game, and for Tampa to lose tomorrow to St. Louis, which at St. Louis means Tampa's going to win. But regardless, they needed a win tonight to at least temporarily have home ice in the first round. So, we are going to see what happens, obviously. The final game, the final regular season game of the season, game number 82, which means the first season of the HabWrap is technically over. We are coming back for the playoffs, obviously. We're not going to blue ball you guys by just doing the regular season and then just not doing playoffs. However, I'm thinking, quite possibly, maybe, it's a possibility. What if we go live for the playoffs? I know we did it last year. I came back after a little bit of a hiatus. But I'm thinking it would be pretty fun. What if we stream the playoffs for the Canadiens? We do a live version of the HabWrap. What if we did that? I think it'd be awesome. I think you guys would find it entertaining. We could do a little bit of a variation of the way we usually do it, where I read your comments throughout, the way we used to do it before this became the HabWrap. I think it'd be exciting. I think you guys would like it. Fire off in the comments. Let me know if you guys want that. If you guys don't, I'll probably do it, but yeah. I think that'll be exciting. So the Canadiens, again, played tonight, game number 82 against the Flyers. And before we do get into anything, I do want to say, depending on who wins, we're either starting Saturday or Sunday, obviously. But it's very specific. If Tampa gets home ice advantage, we will start on Sunday because the Lightning, the Lightning's arena, the Amalie Arena, I think it's a different name now, but the Amalie Arena has a concert Saturday, so we would start on Sunday. If it's Montreal who gets home ice, I believe they could start Saturday as well. I know there was a thing where Sportsnet was asking the schedule makers to not have the Senators and Canadiens games on the same day, because obviously they're both Canadian teams. Sportsnet wants to have as many views as they can get. Seems they probably won't need to worry about that, but regardless, I think enough dilly-dallying. Let's get into the lines, because we've got some stuff to talk about. Get into the game, which we've got, we have a few things to talk about, I guess, and then talk about the final stats for the Canadiens before we get into the playoffs. So let's do it. The opening lines for the Montreal Canadiens are Caulfield, Suzuki, Texier, Slafkovsky, Suzuki, Slafkovsky, I was reading ahead, my apologies. Texier, Newhook, Demidov, there we go. Bolduc, Kapanen, Doc, and Veleno, Evans, Gallagher are up front. On the blue line, it's Struble, Hudson, Reinbacher, Gooley, Jack-Eye, Engstrom. That's right, there's some scratches. We're going to get into those, don't worry. But we're going to get through both lines because it makes it a lot easier if we just talk about them after. Jakub Dobeš gets the start in net for the last regular season game, and unfortunately, Jacob Fowler only backs him up after a great last game. Jakub Dobeš coming off a very iffy last game, and we'll talk about him in a little while. The opening lines for the Flyers are Forster, Cates, Michkov, Bump, Barkey, Martone, Wilson, that is Garrett Wilson, shout out Penguins legend, Glendening, shout out Detroit legend, and Garnet Hathaway, and Grunstrom, Gauthier, and Habs legend Anthony Richard round out the fourth line. On the blue line, it's Sealer, Juracek, Habs legend Noah Juleson, and Andre, and that is Hunter McDonald and Oliver Bonk, both on the third pairing. So a lot of scratches for the Flyers. We will talk about those as well. But Samuel Ersson gets the start net for them. And Alexei Korsov, he was called up to back him up. He has been wandering around in the AHL for the most of the year. So the scratches for both teams. Montreal, not many. Matheson, Deneau, and Anderson. So that's why Engstrom slots back in for Matheson. Deneau's out, Veleno slots in, and Andy's out. Gallagher slots back in. Gallagher very hopefully playing his last NHL game, but of course we will see if he sticks around for the full next year. If the Canadiens try to move him, we'll see what happens. For the Flyers, you guys ready for this? Sean Couturier, Jamie Drysdale, Travis Konechny, Rasmus Ristolainen, Travis Sanheim, Owen Tippett, Dan Vladar, Cam York, and Trevor Zegras, all scratches for Philadelphia. That is right. Philly very paranoid about their guys potentially getting hurt. They called up a lot of their AHL depth for this game, including Oliver Bonk and Hunter McDonald, who I mentioned. They both make their NHL debuts. David Yarechek makes his Flyers debut, so good for those three young blue liners. Noah Juleson, I believe, got, 3 games with the Flyers all of this year before tonight, if I remember correctly. No, he's been a regular in their lineup. 52 games, 10 points, aka non-existent. So, yeah, there's that. Shout out Noah Juleson, I guess, for just doing shit. Yeah. So yeah, let's get into the game. Now, I guess at this point, there's no real need to dwell over the lines. So yeah, in the first period, Suzuki has a burst in the opening minute. Suzuki does get, Slav gets tied up so he can't receive a pass. Caulfield ends up beating a high stick from Sealer. And the Habs go to a power play, 21 seconds in as a result. Again, Sealer's off for the high stick. Nice. Slav finds Cole, who has a shot saved with the pad. Flyers end up clearing. Caulfield gets checked at the side of the net, but he's able to keep a puck alive. Hudson finds Suzuki on the left wall, who goes to Caulfield. The sharp angle shot is saved again. Second comes out. Hathaway blocks a shot off his arm. Jesus. Jack-Eye was on the power play late. That's awesome to see. Habs, unfortunately, though, do go 0 for 1 on the power play tonight. By the way, Caulfield, we'll talk about him tonight. Not because he had a bad game. Believe me, don't get me wrong. He did not have a bad game. But we're going to talk, it's more of a team thing, but we'll talk about Caulfield in a little while. Bonk has a shot over the net as the Flyers try to rush. The shots were 4-0 Montreal 3.5 minutes in. Michkov gets found on a break. Dobesh makes a very good pad save. Don't get used to hearing that tonight. But Dobesh with a very good save there. Jack-Eye finds Demidov, but Philadelphia ties him up. They prevent anything towards Ersson. Habs press. Flyers have an icing at 7 minutes. Caulfield with a sneaky shot. That gets saved and held off a draw, though. Suzuki in the Flyers zone tries to find Caulfield, but the pass is deflected out. Back the other way, the Flyers set up. They have a delayed penalty, or the Canadiens have a delayed penalty, I should say. And the Flyers score. Martone ends up tipping a Michkov shot home. Flyers take the lead at 8:08 into the first period. Martone with his 4th of the year. Now, for sure, a point-per-game player in his tenure with the Flyers to end the season. Martone scores from Michkov and Oliver Bonk, so his NHL debut. Bonk gets on the board. Good for him. Shout out Ollie Bonks. Gallagher gives a puck away. The Habs end up icing it when they get it back. Habs get a look off a steal. Veleno looked all right. Would not mind him being in for game 1 instead of Brendan Gallagher. Or I guess technically... No, yeah, I guess him staying in, because Gallagher and Andy were the guys who switched, but would not mind Veleno staying in. I guess you scratch Bolduc for Deneau. Was Bolduc even in tonight? Yeah, he was, so wouldn't mind scratching Bolduc. Yeah, that wouldn't be an issue with me whatsoever. So yeah, either way, of course, we will see what the Game 1 lineups look like, though. Jack has a shot off a stick, but it goes out of play. The top line's out with Demidov. Jack has a shot blocked. Habs have an icing with 7 minutes left. Bolduc with a nice hit on Emile Andre. Evans ends up getting laid out at the boards, and the Canadiens score. Or sorry, the Flyers score. Damn it, Evans got laid out, but damn it, the Canadiens scored. No, but Evans gets hit, and all the Canadiens kind of just lose their men. Veleno tries to go after McDonald, but he turns into a coward and doesn't want to fight. And Oliver Bonk scored. His first NHL game. He's got 2 points in his first period as well, no less. Shout out Ivan Demidov. It's 2-0 Flyers. He scores for Michkov and Hunter McDonald. So Hunter McDonald gets into the lineup, and he also gets a point in his NHL debut. Very likely his only NHL point, let's be honest. Dobesh probably needs to make the save there. You want your goaltender to make some saves that he maybe shouldn't. And that's one of those. If Dobesh wants to be the starter, he's got high expectations on him, and he's got to be able to fill those. So yeah, it's 2-0 Flyers. Canadians didn't really care about this game. They don't care if they're playing at home or away for the first 2 games. They were very much just playing in this game, for a large part of it at least. Just skate, keep the legs going, don't push yourself too hard physically or anything, We just were playing to not get injured, basically, is what we were doing for a large portion of the game. Michkov has a rush chance. Reinbacher comes back in time. Dobesh makes the save. Demidov does that later. Habs go back the other way. Jack has a shot deflected out of play again. Jack had a good game. Jack had another good game, which is funny considering that he got 19 minutes. He had the second most ice time of any Canadiens defenseman. I thought Jack had a good game, And I'm not saying that you have to ice him 21, 22 minutes for the first game. No, but I think if you can get him out there for a good 15, 16 minutes, I think there should be no issue there whatsoever. I think that if you're able to play him, give him a regular shift, he's not bad, I think he's a good 6th defenseman. I like Jack. You can put him out there for a regular shift, honestly. I thought Jack looked very confident in the past 5 or so games that he's played. Habs pressure late. Goulet has a shot, patted away. Caulfield ends up blowing a tire trying to rush from his own zone, but the Flyers end up going nowhere with that. Shots are 12-8 for the Canadiens, and they're down 2-0 after the first period. That sucks. Yeah, second period, Suzuki goes offside, but he didn't. That sucks. That's a blown call by the refs. Or I guess technically a bad call by the refs. A blown call would be them not making the call. But yeah, regardless, Hudson comes back to defend a Grundstrom break. There's a good defensive play there. Hudson had a very good defensive game as well. It's no surprise he got the most ice time out of any of the blue liners. Hudson had a very good game. Hudson was the only guy really that was out there and was like, yeah, I'm just playing my game. Like, I'm just gonna play my game. You guys don't mind? All right, cool. I'm gonna go play my game. And he went out there. He played pretty damn good. Hudson's playing like it's the playoffs already. Habs with some good pressure. Gallagher in front off a rebound. That's saved. The wrap try goes through the crease, but there's nothing there. Damn, Habs almost had a chance. Flyers end up icing a puck. They get a near break, though, off the draw. Martone gets found by Bonk, but the one-timer is saved by Dobesh. Doc then takes a sort of knee-on-knee in the Flyers zone. There's no call, of course. He was a bit slow to get up. Habs end up scoring a few moments later. Off a puck battle, the Habs end up traveling the other way. Gallagher, right in front, gets a nice tip on a cross-crease pass. 6:50 into the second period, Gallagher makes it 2-1. He scores from Goulet and Texier. Very nice pass there from Caden Goulet to find Gallagher, and just like that, it's a game. So, can the Canadiens do it? Well, let's find out. The Habs press again. Reinbacher is a slapper, but that's gloved and held by Urson. The top line press, they don't get any shots though. Caulfield on a rush, the wrister is saved. Barkey goes back the other way. He gets a break, and Dobesh looked like he made the save, but it might have just gone wide. It's so strange. Dobesh plays very good for the first half of the game, and the second half kind of goes downhill just a little bit, starting very soon. The Habs end up on icing a puck moments later. They beat out another icing. Gallagher from behind the net finds Evans, but Urson makes a very solid save there. No clue how this guy is a backup. Like, I get that he's bad, but for some reason tonight, he was quite solid. Samuel Urson was quite good. Michkov has a near break. He is first to a puck. Engstrom has a good check to stop that, though. Dobesh then makes a save on Michkov a moment later during a cycle. Flyers with some good defense as the second line tries to cycle around the boards. Caulfield off a pass. He gets some good speed. He enters the zone, and a sharp angle shot again gets saved. It goes off Urson and ends up in his chest protector. Refs are looking for it. It takes a minute to find the puck. That's something fun to see. There's actually talk that they might have to replace the goalie, put in Kolosov until they could find the puck. So that would have been entertaining to see, but unfortunately it does not happen. Sorry, I gotta find my place. Flyers ice a puck a moment later. Gallagher is praised by TSN for scoring, and then immediately loses a puck battle, and Michkov buries one on a wide open net to make it 3-1. Dobesh has lost the net. He has been god-awful on really good scoring chances. He has not been the Dobesh of the past month and a half. Fowler, I thought, had a great last game. I don't think that there's any doubt in my mind that you need to start Jacob Fowler in Game 1. I get he has, 18 games of NHL experience? No, 17, because I don't think he got any last year. Because we were battling till the end. Yeah, so 17 games of NHL experience, Jacob Fowler. But he is your goaltender with the best stats to end the season. Yeah, Jakub Dobesh has these very inconsistent bursts. He played great down the stretch last year. I'm not going to blame him for the playoffs when he came in because, first bit of playoff experience, that's whatever. Start of the year, piss poor with Montembeault. Got good, got really bad, got pretty good, and it seems that he's back to being mediocre. Jacob Fowler is extremely calm in net. He's a young Carey Price. He is the next Carey Price in net for the Canadiens. As good as Dobesh can be, it's the same thing that people were saying at the beginning of the year with Dobesh. You ride the hot hand. Dobesh is not the hot hand right now. In my opinion, I think you have to go Jacob Fowler in Game 1. Or at the very least, Dobesh has to have a very, very short leash. I'm happy that Dobesh played fantastic hockey the last month and a half. I would just really prefer if he didn't cool off when we most need him, which is in the playoffs, what you play hot down the stretch to get to. I would really, really appreciate that. Also on the same play, Dobesh just refused to glove the initial shot that gets to him. He just throws it out. And also, again, Brendan Gallagher loses the puck battle and then just doesn't care about the play that happens. It's 3-1 regardless. So the Canadiens are going to lose this one. Let's get into the stats. Let's finish the game out. Even though it's a very boring game. With 6 minutes left, Michkov gets his 20th goal of the year. So, surprisingly, Michkov gets to 50 points this year. That's a huge upgrade from oh, wait, what? You're telling me he had more points last year? Oh, no, he's a one-year wonder, isn't he? Oh, no. Oh, it's not like... It's almost like I called this. Oh, no. How sad. Oh, no. So Martone gets knocked down by Jack-Eye. Texier and Newhook get a 2-on-1 moments later, but that gets saved. Gooley with some good defense to stop a Martone break from happening. Slavkovsky gets on a break, and another great save by Sam Ersson. Caulfield has good speed at the line. He gets a shot away, but that gets held. Habs push. They're getting zone time, but just no shots on a shift where they need to get a shot. Caulfield gets tripped up right in front of the net. There's no call. But a minute later, the Habs do go to the power play with 3 minutes left. Martone is called for holding Hudson in the neutral zone with, again, just about 3 minutes left. Demidov has a one-timer in the slot, but that's stopped by Cates. A good stick there. Habs cycle again. Demidov has a one-timer blocked by Sealer. Is someone going to let Sealer know that the playoffs haven't started yet? Because he doesn't need to be shot blocking right now. Either way, respect to him for that, though. Engstrom has a slapper off a draw, but that gets blocked. Oh, by the way, I should point out second unit is out, obviously. If Engstrom was on this first unit, I'd be very concerned. Martone has a shorthanded look, but that gets saved. Habs are 0 for 2 on the power play tonight. The Habs keep the puck in the zone after Gallagher turns one over. Habs chip it in, and we score. Jack-Eye with a slapper. The rebound gets right in front. Jake Evans, right by the pad, I should say, and Jake Evans given a wide open net, and he buries it with 10.5 seconds left. Jake Evans gets it. By the way, on the first goal, I should point out, Brendan Gallagher snaps an 8-game pointless drought and a 20-game goalless drought. Caden Gooley snaps a 9-game pointless drought, and Alexander Texier also snaps a 9-game pointless drought. Jake Evans here doesn't snap any droughts because he's just a good player. So Jake Evans scores with 10 seconds left. And the Habs go up 3-2. He scores from Jack-Eye, who snaps a 5-game pointless drought. And no, that can't be right. Joe Veleno, that's right. Veleno set up Jack-Eye for the slapper. Joe Veleno snaps a 21-game pointless drought. It's a freaking miracle. Joe Veleno and Arbor Jack-Eye both get on the board. That is right. So it's 3-2. Habs ice it with 4 seconds left. Shots are 24-20 for the Canadiens. They're down 3-2 after the second period of play. Spoiler, there are not a lot of shots in the third. The second period shots were very decent, 12 apiece. But yeah, the third was not very eventful for either team. Spoiler alert. The Flyers do press early. There's a Gooley D play to break that up. There's a bump shot held by Dobesh. Struble ends up going after him, and Reinbacher gives Martone a cross check to the face. Gotta love to see that. A little bit of feistiness out of David Reinbacher. Hell yeah. Gallagher takes a knee, sort of, but he thankfully does stay up. There is no call. But it actually does get called. The Habs go to a power play. It's, let me find the exact, there we go. It's Hunter McDonald. It's called 2 for interference on Brendan Gallagher. So, Habs do get a power play out of it. They're third of the night. Can they convert? No, they won't. Spoiler. Forster clears after a Habs cycle goes nowhere. Suzuki has a one-timer held by Urson off of a cycle. The second unit comes out. Habs get his own time, but a pass to Texier not on his tape. The Habs are 0 for 3 on the power play tonight. An absolutely dreadful power play the last handful of games. Holy shit, that's got to be better if we expect to beat Tampa Bay. Demidov has a pass to Newhook. That's broken up. The Flyers end up sending one out of play. The Habs almost get called for too many men. A little bit of back and forth, bunkering down defensively. Kapanen gets a sudden break, but the shot is gloved down by Urson. Here we go. Kapanen and Michkov going at each other. Doc and McDonald get tied up in front. First and only scrum of the game. The game is very much not chippy. Both teams very much just, play their game. Don't really try to injure each other. That's fine. Just don't get hurt. Stay in good shape for the playoffs. We get some 4-on-4 as a result. Doc and McDonald both get called to for roughing, so we go 4-on-4. Hudson gets pressured out of the zone after a cycle. Flyers press. Michkov misses Andre. Back and forth. Flyers back the other way. Great text from me. And yeah, Dobesh has lost the starter's job. Off a turnover. Bump makes it 4-2. Slavkovsky just loses the handle on it in front of the net. It really sucks. Either way, just kind of unacceptable for Dobesh to allow that type of goal over his glove. It's 4-2. Bump scores his 5th of the year from Porter Martone. So Martone looking very impressive with a 2-point performance there for the Flyers. He is easily their best player headed into the playoffs. And it's 4-2. Habs are out of it again, and it's exclusively because of 3 really bad plays. And that sucks. So yeah, Hudson with 2 great defensive plays. One on Michkov off a turnover. Another on Bump as he looks for his second of the night. Technically both of them looking for their second of the night, but, Bump especially was looking good in the third. Habs try to press. 5 minutes left. There's a Caulfield shot saved by Urson. Slav on a wrap gets held. I would like to point out, I'm pretty sure because this is his last shot, Caulfield had 11 tonight and I'm gonna verify that the NHL thing. Sorry, he had 10 shots. They actually took one away from him. Caulfield had slightly more than 1/3 of the Canadiens' shots tonight. I get that he's a goal scorer, and he probably could have had 1 or 2 tonight. Erson actually just played a pretty good game. But 10 shots, which ties a career high, by the way, would have set a new career high if he had 11. But you would think Suzuki should have more than 1 shot. He's good with the puck. Slafkovsky should have more than 2 shots. He's got a good shot. You wouldn't think that Cole Caulfield, that I'd be bitching about him having 10 shots. But the guys might want to start shooting the puck a little bit themselves. I love Cole, and obviously he's a fantastic goal scorer. You never know where he's going to shoot from, where he's going to shoot. But give him 2 or 3 less shots. Let Zooks and Slav have a few of those. We might have lost this game 4-3 instead. You know, like, I love Cole, and I love how much he's not afraid to shoot. But my God, he really was trying to tie McKinnon tonight, because last time I checked, at least, the Canadiens were not, or the Avalanche, sorry, were not. I wish we had McKinnon. The Avs were not playing McKinnon tonight against Calgary, and very likely that they won't against the Seattle Kraken, regardless if Caulfield was tied or passed him or whatever, because you don't worry about the Rocket, you worry about winning a Stanley Cup. So, yeah, hopefully Caulfield is also focused on that, which I'm sure he is, obviously. Why wouldn't he be? But, yeah, hopefully he takes a couple less shots in the playoffs, because I feel like if you have 3 pretty good goal scorers the way that we do, passing to the best one surprisingly isn't always the best thing to do. Very surprisingly. Sometimes you gotta trick him. You gotta trick him a little bit. But yeah, Caulfield had 11 shots tonight, 10 shots tonight, which again a little bit concerning. That if he had, say, half of those, the game shots are tied. We were almost outshot by the Flyers AHL squad, essentially. I get, again, that we were playing a game where we were not really bothering to win. We don't care if we're starting on the road or at home. We were just playing to avoid getting hurt, which is completely understandable, and I would much rather us play to not get hurt and go into game 1 completely healthy, rather than us push and say Demidov gets a minor injury, or Alex Newhook is out for a couple games, or Caden Gooley gets hurt again. You know, I would much rather us play a safe game and go into game 1 healthier than if we played a rough game and someone gets hurt. You know? Completely understand that. But just would have been cause for concern if this was, say, game 62 instead of game 82. It's funny how that ends up working, isn't it? But yeah, regardless, Juracek slashes Texier after the play. There's no power play coming out of that. Both Texier and Juracek get called because Juracek goes after Juracek because Juracek / Texier, what the hell else is he supposed to do? Yeah, Marty does pull Dobesh, as the draw is to the, I believe it's to the left of Sam Erson. I mean, you know what? Fair enough. It's 4-2. You really can't get worse than this. Even if it's 5-2, you're going to lose the game anyways. You might as well just go for it. Slav has a one-timer, but that gets saved. Slav finds Cole, but he goes just wide. Suzuki misses one off his own entry, but that ends up coming back out to center. There's a puck battle to the right of Erson. Flyers are laying in front of everything the Canadiens are sending towards the net at this stage, and they're also getting sticks towards any pucks. Playing a good defensive game are the Flyers. Marty calls a timeout with 1:46 left. Habs need 2 goals if they want to at least challenge the Lightning for home ice. Habs come in offside after a little bit of pressure by the Flyers. Newhook has a shot saved after Caulfield isn't able to find a pass in his skates. Hudson has a wrister saved from the line as well. Hathaway ends up taking down Hudson. Looks for the empty net, but Demidov saves it. Love to see it. Back the other way, the Habs can't find anything, unfortunately. The season is done. That ends at the final shots. The Flyers win 4-2 in the last game of the year. The final shots, 20 9-25 for the Montreal Canadiens. So putting up shots, they just ended up losing, unfortunately. So yeah, the Canadian season ends, unfortunately, with a loss. However, one of the very rare times that we lose, the season for the Canadiens will end with a 48-24-10 record. It is official that the Canadiens will face Tampa Bay in Tampa Bay for the final for the first round series. We will play game 1 on Sunday. It is official because, as I mentioned earlier, the Lightning have a concert being played on Saturday in their building, so they will get that opportunity for the game against the Canadiens on Sunday. That's going to be an exciting one. You know that the Library Arena is going to be very, very quiet. You're going to have to wait till Game 3 to get to a legitimate NHL arena. So, yeah, we are going to have a fun series. I think no matter what, if it ends in 4, ends in 7, anywhere in between, either way, it's going to be a very entertaining series. It's going to be extremely exciting. Probably a lot of physicality. As we all know, the first round of the playoffs are very often the best round of the playoffs. So, yeah, we'll see if Montreal can get the win in that series. We'll see if they're a first-round exit again, which if they are, you're going to see a lot of moronic Canadiens fans claiming that we need to go back and do a rebuild, ignoring that this team is extremely young entering the playoffs and playing a very veteran, very experienced Tampa Bay team. However, that being said, a Tampa Bay team who still has played a lot of hockey over the last handful of years, and you would expect should be relatively tired as a result. However, obviously, that's for the playoffs to decide. Like I said, we will very much likely be live after Game 1. We are going to go live for the playoffs, I think. Again, let me know what you guys think. If you guys do prefer the videos, if you guys think it'd be great to see to see me go live, because I do have the setup already. I think it'd be exciting, again, to go live for the first round and see how the Canadiens play and get to live react to the post-game with you guys. So, yeah, I say that, and Game 1's going to go to triple overtime, and we're going to go live at 1 in the morning. I say that knowing full well I'm expecting to go live at 10, and I'm going to go live at 1. I guarantee it, But yeah, regardless, nightmare scenarios aside, never said who was going to win. I just said it's going to triple overtime. So yeah, all that aside, the Canadiens are going to the playoffs. That's a huge positive. This confirms, by the way, the rebuild is done. As if it wasn't confirmed last year by us making the playoffs. The rebuild is over after 3 years. 3 years of rebuilding. The Montreal Canadiens are already back. By God, I love this team. So yeah, the Canadiens facing Tampa in the first round. God damn, that's going to be an exciting series. Let's get to the stats, the final regular season stats, and then it's on to the playoffs. Nick Suzuki finishes his season with 29 goals, 72 assists for 101 points. He unfortunately snaps a 4-game point streak, though, in this game. Cole Caulfield finishes the year with 51 goals, 37 assists for 88 points. Lane Hudson does not pass Larry Robinson, unfortunately, for most assists by a defenseman in a single season. 12 goals, 66 assists for 78 points. Yaroslav Kavsky, 30 goals, 43 assists, 73 points. He snaps a 4-game pointless streak as well. Very unfortunate. Ivan Demidov, 19 goals, 43 assists, 62 points. I believe he will lead all rookies in point scoring to end the season. I can confirm that, yes, it looks like he will indeed lead all rookies in points, barring Beckett Seneca in the final 2 games getting any more than 3 points, which, you know what, is very likely. It very well could happen. Well, at this point, it's looking more like it's going to be in the final game, because the Ducks are actually down as of recording this 3-1 to the Wild, which Woo, I guess. I mean, they're both clinched. So, I mean, that game doesn't really matter. It's not like the Wild are fighting for home ice. The Ducks are, but I mean, come on, they're going to be the third seed. They're going to go into Edmonton probably. So, regardless, back to the Canadian stats, the things that matter the most in hockey. Noah Dobson, who is unfortunately injured, 12 goals, 35 assists for 47 points. He ends the year with a 22-game goalless drought. Kind of crazy, I know, right? Like, I thought he would get to 15 goals, and then, just a crazy goalless drought. Habs fans didn't complain, though, because he had a very solid amount of assists and very elite defensive play. You know what they say, you don't trade in player like Noah Dobbs say. Or, let's just move on. Oliver Kapanen, 22 goals, 15 assists for 37 points. He finishes the year with a 10-game pointless drought. Mike Matheson, 7 goals, 30 assists for 37 points. He ends the year on a 6-game pointless drought. Zach Bolduc with 12 goals, 18 assists for 30 points. Alex Newhook, 13 goals, 12 assists, 25 points. Jake Evans, 12 goals, 12 assists for 24 points. Josh Anderson, 14 goals, 9 assists, 23 points. Brendan Gallagher, 7 goals, 16 assists, 23 points. With the goal tonight, he snaps an 8-game pointless drought and a 20-game goalless drought, as I mentioned a moment ago. Alexander Carrier, who is unfortunately still hurt, 7 goals and 15 assists for 22 points. Alex Texier, 8 goals, 13 assists, 21 points. He snaps a 9-game pointless drought once again. Kirby Dach, 8 goals, 7 assists for 15 points. Phil Deneau, 6 goals, 6 assists for 12 points. Jaden Struble, 2 goals, 10 assists for 12 points. He ends the year with a 6-game pointless drought. Caden Gooley, 2 goals, 9 assists for 11 points. He snaps a 9-game pointless drought with the assist tonight. Sammy Blais, who is back in the Val, 2 goals, 3 assists for 5 points. The same as Joe Veleno, who, again, snaps the 21-game pointless drought tonight. Arbor Jacki snaps his 5-game pointless drought with an assist. He's got 1 goal, 3 assists for 4 points tonight. Owen Beck had a goal and a 7-game pointless drought before he was sent back down to Laval. Patrick Laine, Florian Jacki, and Jared Davidson, who are both in Laval. Adam Engstrom and David Reinbacher all end the year with an assist for the Montreal Canadiens. Arbor Jacki obviously leads the Canadiens with 7 fights. Josh Anderson's got 2 of those. Josh Anderson's got 4 of those. Jaden Struble's got 2. Brendan Gallagher, Kirby Dach, Caden Gooley, Joe Veleno, and Florian Jacki all have a fight this year as well. Jakub Dobeš leads the Canadiens goaltenders with a 29-10-4 record, a 2.78 goals against average, and a 901 save percentage. Samuel Montembeault ends the season with a 10-8-4 record, a 3.43 goals against average, and an 872 save percentage. Best of luck to Samuel wherever he ends up going in the offseason. I can't imagine that we're not going to trade him, so best of luck wherever he ends up going to. Hopefully it's a place he can at least be a backup. Obviously, we'll see. And Jacob Fowler ends the season with a 9-6-2 record, a 2.43 goals against average, and a 908 save percentage. Along with the lone shutout for the Montreal Canadiens this year. So yeah, that is again going to do it for this episode of the HabWrap. Thank you all so much for watching. My name is Harry Rice. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you're on the YouTube. Hit the follow button if you're on the Spotify, Amazon, wherever you might be listening to the podcast on. And please share the podcast as well with anybody who you think you might enjoy it, such as a fellow Montreal Canadiens fan, a hockey fan who's maybe looking for a Montreal Canadiens podcast, or someone who you think you just might enjoy listening to some fat kid from Quebec talk about the Montreal Canadiens for 30 to 40 minutes after every game. That is going to do it again for this episode of HabWrap. My name is Harry Rice. I am out. And please always remember, no matter how good we are like last year, how pretty good we are like this year, or how fantastic we'll be in the future, go Habs go, Allez Montreal, and say with me everybody, c'est la boo!